Have you ever noticed how some things that are legal in the United States are completely banned in other countries? And when it comes to guns, the contrast between global laws can leave any enthusiast wondering, what's really at stake here? The truth is, some guns that you can easily find in stores here are considered far too dangerous to even cross certain borders. But is it just about the gun itself? Or is there something deeper that makes governments out there so apprehensive? Sometimes what's behind these bans says a lot about what truly scares those in power. And that's where it gets interesting, because when the government puts a banned label on a type of firearm, they're not just controlling the object. They're trying to control what they believe is the biggest risk, the power that firearm brings to the hands of ordinary people. So, why do some nations opt to ban guns that are seen as normal in the U.S.? What is it they truly fear? Let's dive into this intriguing scenario and uncover what's behind so many global prohibitions. Topic 1. AR-15 banned in Australia. When we talk about weapons banned around the world, the AR-15 in Australia is a classic example. After the Port Arthur massacre in 1996, the Australian government launched one of the most stringent gun control reforms in modern history, and the AR-15 was one of the first to be banned. This semi-automatic rifle, extremely popular in the United States, was seen as a serious threat due to its ease of use, lightweight, and fast firing capability. In the U.S., the AR-15 is used for hunting, sport shooting, and even self-defense. But in Australia, it quickly became a symbol of the danger the government wanted to avoid. The decision to ban the AR-15 wasn't solely based on the rifle's firepower, but on the growing fear that the availability of such a powerful weapon could lead to similar mass tragedies. The government believed that allowing civilians access to such a potent firearm created an unnecessary risk to public safety. Additionally, Australia, which had already been attempting to tighten its gun ownership laws, saw the AR-15 as an opportunity to apply drastic change, one that would serve as an example to the rest of the world. But was this ban only about the weapon itself? Not exactly. Governments that ban weapons like the AR-15 are, in fact, trying to control the perception of power these weapons represent. They place in civilians' hands the kind of force that's typically reserved for military or law enforcement. By banning the AR-15, the Australian government sent a clear message: some weapons are too powerful for the common citizen. For them, it was about preventing these tactical tools from being used in ways that would challenge the state's monopoly on violence. Still, many Australians were upset by this decision. The AR-15 wasn't just a mass attack weapon. For many, it was a useful tool for hunting or sport shooting, as well as a symbol of personal rights. By banning this weapon, the government also sparked a debate about individual freedom and how far government control should go. And this debate isn't limited to Australia. It's something that resonates in other countries where gun control is stricter, like the ones we'll explore next. Topic 2. AK-47 banned in Japan. Shifting continents, we have the example of Japan, where the AK-47 is completely banned. The AK-47, one of the most well-known and widespread assault rifles in the world, is synonymous with raw firepower. In the United States, the AK-47 is popular among collectors and shooting enthusiasts. But Japan views this weapon very differently. In this country, gun control laws are extremely strict, and the AK-47, with its capacity for automatic and semi-automatic fire, was considered too dangerous to tolerate in society. For the Japanese government, the ban on the AK-47 is directly tied to its philosophy of preserving public peace. Japan has one of the lowest crime rates in the world, and many attribute this to the almost total control of firearms in the country. The idea that a civilian could own a weapon like the AK-47, which has a history of use in wars and armed conflicts, is seen as a threat to the nation's tranquility. But beyond that, there's a deeper fear that powerful weapons could challenge state authority. The Japanese government recognizes that allowing its citizens to own weapons like the AK-47 not only increases the risk of violence, but also could lead to a perception of power outside state control. In a country where order and respect for the law are highly valued, the AK-47 is considered a tool of chaos. For them, banning this weapon is a way of ensuring that the state maintains total control over the use of force, guaranteeing that the population remains dependent on the security forces for their protection. On the other hand, in the United States, the AK-47 might be seen as a symbol of independence and resistance. The idea of the government banning such a weapon would be unthinkable for many Americans who believe in the right to own tools for self-defense. However, in Japan, such an approach would be considered a risk to national security. This difference in perception between countries shows us how the culture and history of a nation can influence the way weapons are viewed and regulated. Topic 3. Desert Eagle. Banned in the United Kingdom. Lastly, let's talk about the United Kingdom, where the Desert Eagle was banned following the Dunblane shootings in Scotland. The Desert Eagle, with its impressive caliber and intimidating design, is one of the most powerful pistols available on the market. In the United States, it is viewed as a collector's item or a high-level self-defense weapon, but in the UK, the perception is quite different. The British government, in its mission to prevent future tragedies, banned the Desert Eagle along with other high-caliber firearms. For British authorities, the Desert Eagle wasn't just a powerful weapon, but a risk not worth taking. With a firearm of that magnitude, any violent situation could quickly escalate into something far more serious. Moreover, the UK has a much more restrictive policy when it comes to civilian gun ownership, with the belief that fewer guns in civilian hands means greater safety. And when it comes to weapons like the Desert Eagle, the British government didn't want to take any chances. What's interesting is that while in the United States the Desert Eagle is often admired for its design and power, in the UK it is viewed as an example of a weapon that must be avoided at all costs. The government believes that the mere presence of such a powerful gun could create situations where lethal force would be used far more often than necessary. And for many Britons, this ban is seen as a way of maintaining peace and order in the country. This contrast between the United States and the United Kingdom makes us think about the different ways weapons are viewed around the world. While some countries see powerful weapons as a necessity for self-defense, others treat them as a risk that needs to be eliminated. And so, the Desert Eagle becomes another example of how a weapon can represent both freedom and danger, depending on where you are. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. See you next time.